What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another This Day in Philly Sports History for Sunday, September 11th, 2022. It is Eagles opening day, so we are pumped about that. I want to say happy birthday to my son Thatcher, who is 7 today. We are going to Legoland before the game, so that should be a lot of fun. I always look forward to his birthday because it is a bright spot on what is otherwise a very somber and sad day. So definitely a little glimmer of hope and joy for me on a day that just is still to this day, 21 years later, very hard to deal with. But today we're going to go back 11 years to 2011, September 11th, 2011. And we got two more. Today and tomorrow are our last two Eagles opening day, this day in Philly sports history. But they, back then in 2011, they went down to St. Louis to play the Rams. They actually beat them 31-13. And I think the bigger story of that season, though, is the whole Vince Young's dream team comments. If you remember, that was when they signed Nnamdi Asomugha, Jason Babin. They traded for Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Ronnie Brown they signed. They picked up Vince Young, who was cut. And I think if you added them to, like, Michael Vick was the quarterback, you had LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Macklin. On defense, they still had Trent Cole, who was at a high level. Asante Samuel. So I see where he was coming from with that. And on paper, I mean, they should have been competing for the Super Bowl. However, we know how that season turned out. They ended up going 8-8. They started off 4-7. Now, the crazy part about that is they were, of those first 7 losses, 6 of them were by 7 points or less. So it wasn't like they were getting killed. So they were competitive. They just weren't able to close out the games. And I do remember being in the stands and booing Andy Reid. I think that was his second to last year. So we felt he kind of had run his course. And I mean, unfortunately, the guy was dealing with all kinds of stuff personally with his kids during that time. And I question sometimes how much he was able to focus, especially when they're losing games by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. So the crazy stat about that season is they went 5-1 in the division and only lost out to the Giants by 1 game, who went 9-7 that year. So kind of a frustrating year, but this day they went down. They started off 1-0, looked pretty good against the Rams. Like I said, 31-13 they won, and then it just sort of was downhill from there. Still pissed off to this day about Vince Young and those comments. But, I mean, he wasn't wrong, put it that way. But on paper, they were like a dream team. Nnamdi Asomugha was, I remember being so hyped up for signing him, and he was probably up there in the biggest bust of free agent pickups. So when we look at this team, there's a few of these what ifs I have coming up and on the agenda for this. Obviously, the Nnamdi Asomugha, what if he wasn't a complete and total bust and lost interest in football? The whole Vince Young comments, what if Andy Reid had been able to fully focus and didn't have some of his other things going on? So there's just a lot to deal with that whole dream team. And make sure you keep an eye out for future episodes for that. But go check out Back to the Future wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Jimbo_Mont. I post a lot of these videos. And I think now that the season is going to start, I'm going to start having more just random things pop up and talk Philly sports and things like that. So definitely check it out. You can find Back to the Future wherever you get your podcasts. But happy Sunday. Let's go Birds. Oh, and the pick. I might be in the minority on this, but everybody's talking about how it's going to be close. I like the Eagles laying the 4 points. So go Birds. And until next time, I'll see you when I see it.